of violent incidents. The similar has been happening in the last 1 week, which has been, I would say, the bloodiest in the last 6 months.
The last 6 months have been the bloodiest, but the most latest one of them all, you had these insurgents in camouflage uniforms and they carried, sophisticated weaponry as well. The arms that have been seized so far suggest that, these are well provided for insurgents. So the situation is getting from bad to worse in terms of how strong the insurgents are getting.
Well, absolutely. And I think, the way the reason why they don themselves in camouflage and, carry sophisticated weapon is that to escape attention or to present themselves as an extension of the CAPFs which are already being deployed there. And going by, the number of Kalashnikovs, the number of SLRs and other sophisticated weapons which were recovered, the fact that only 2 CRPF jawans were injured came as a huge sigh of relief for the Central Armed Police Forces. Because going by the kind of weaponry and the firepower these suspected militants had, it could have led to a larger bloodbath. And the fact that the CRPF has been able to kill 11 suspected militants is something, which the authorities believe will lead to escalation of tension. And we immediately, 6 hours, 8 hours after that encounter, we saw a massive exchange of fire in Imphal West from both sides. And the government wants to control this sudden spurt and sudden escalation of violence in the state, and it is in lieu of that they have rushed an additional 20 CAPF units to the state of Manipur. Krishna?
And with that, the number of the companies of CAPFs in Manipur is nearly 200. Stationed.
Well, I think
right.
It's 218, Krishna, now, because 198 units were already there, CAPF units were already there in the state of Manipur, and with this 20, the number have increased to 218. Now, that is a huge presence of Central Armed Police Forces, comprising of BSF, comprising of CRPF, comprising of Assam Rifles, and not to mention Indian Army per se. So, I mean, one of the key questions which is also being asked in certain quarters is, how is it that, with presence of so many boots on the ground, the government or the forces have not been able to control, the kind of violence which is there on the ground, not been able to recover the kind of weapon which is still, more than 4,000, 5,000 weapons are still being illegally kept by people, and which is one of the key source of, this sporadic escalation of violent activities in the state of Manipur. So it seems that the government is this time, is trying to put more boots on the ground to make sure that they are able to very effectively carry out the cordon and search operations in pockets to make sure that they are able to recover as many weapons as possible, which many believe is one of the key reasons why there is no end to violence as far as the state of Manipur is concerned. Krishna?
Brijesh Pandey there getting us the latest on that big story that we're tracking. Brijesh, thank you so much for joining us with that. The Supreme Court of India has come down heavily against quote-unquote bulldozer justice, saying that the executive cannot take over the powers of the judiciary. The apex court said that arbitrary actions in the name of justice violates the principle of separation of powers. The Supreme Court of India says that officers who act in high-handed fashion must be held accountable and ruled that no demolition should be carried out without prior show cause notice.